Hello, I'm Joel Baird, the General Manager of Missoula Community Access Television, inviting you to learn more about elections this fall 2023 in Missoula. I have in the studio with me Bradley Seaman. He is the Elections Administrator for Missoula County. Bradley, thanks so much for coming over.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You know it. So, the first thing that we should talk about, we decided, is the upcoming primary. We're recording on the second to last day of August. The primary ballots are due
On the 12th. So September 12th will be the primary election, and in Montana, a postmark doesn't apply.
right.
So they need to be in our hands. And to help with this, we added a ballot drop-off location in every ward in the city that'll be open on
Great.
Election Day.
The library, we're at 455 East Main Street, downtown Missoula. That's one place.
Yep, that's going to be one of our locations. We'll also be using CS Porter. We'll be using our election center.
Yeah.
So
on Russell.
On Russell Street there. We've got CS Porter over by Reserve Street. We've got Cold Spring School to help cover that south end of town there.
Oh, yeah.
And then we've got our final location, not coming to me right now live with you here, Joel. Sorry about that.
It'll be a final
It's
location.
actually going to be located on your instructions inside your envelope in
Well,
here.
that's the next part of our show, dear viewer, is I wanted to show you what a mail-in process looks like. And I think people are used to it by now, right? This is not the first year we've had an all mail-in ballot process.
No, actually 82% of our active voters are vote-by-mail voters.
Yeah.
So most of our voters vote by mail every election. When we have a school or a municipal election, we regularly hold them so that every voter votes by mail.
Yeah.
But next year we will have polling place elections for our federal primary in general.
Oh, well, that'll be an exciting one. Well, dear viewer, this is mine. It came to my house. So I think the first thing I want to address is, what if you didn't see this by now? It's pretty darn big, and it's not demanding money, so that's really good. But Bradley, what should people do if they say, wait, what's going on? A primary? Well, the primary is for the mayor, and also if you live in Ward 5, there's a primary because there's a number of candidates vying for a single seat in that ward. Well, what should they do? We had sort of rehearsed that you got a website up, and Scott can show it to folks.
Yeah, I think Scott's going to plug it up on the screen. If you go to MissoulaVotes.com, right at the very top of our website, it'll say, do I get to vote in this election?
Right.
And so we built a great map because especially, Orchard Holmes area or Target Range area where it gets a little checkerboard between being in the city or
And in
out of the
county.
city.
Or out of the, well, more importantly, like you say, out of the city, you get to vote.
Exactly. And we hear a lot from voters that, I'm impacted by the changes that are made within the city, which is absolutely true.
Sure.
But in order to vote on this, you have to be annexed inside the city and pay those city taxes.
Right.
So if you go to our website, you can plug in your address and you can check to see, am I in the city?
Oh,
You can
that's
see your
pretty
ballot
good.
and you can see the closest drop-off location.
Yeah. And, there is a website that shows the different wards overlaid on the city. And I have to admit, it's a tough one. I found myself this morning, I was trying to figure out where the Johnson Street shelter, is going to be, and it's like Johnson and North Avenue. When I looked on the map, I saw that wards 4, 5, and 6 all intersect at Johnson and South.
Yeah.
There's like a piece of them everywhere, and then there's a triangle of 4 that kind of shoots into half of the park that's there now. The Montana Rail Park looks like it's half Ward 5 and half Ward 4. And then 6 is in there too. So there's a way of finding out, but when you get, I hope that answers a question people may have, like, do I get a ballot? Maybe you're not in the city itself where you live, or maybe you've moved and there's a way of contacting the office from the website saying, please send me a ballot, or what do I need to do to get the ballot?
Exactly. If you've looked yourself up, you see that you're in the city and you haven't gotten a ballot, then we've got a problem.
Right.
We get in touch with us and we can get you updated. We can get you a replacement ballot. We can have you come in to update your voter registration.
Right.
We can just make sure that you get the opportunity to vote in this election.
And that's very important. So here, witness, I open it mostly to show you at home what you would expect and how you would fill out this ballot. You'll note there's 2 envelopes, and it's important to put the little blue one in the big business reply prepaid white one. And so once you fill out your ballot, you'll have these two pieces. And the signature part is pretty important. It says right here, did you sign your envelope? And that's on the inside flap. Very important for your ballot to be valid. Right.
And I'd love to talk about that just a little bit because this is an important check and balance on our election process.
Right.
Anytime you update your voter registration, we're going to scan that form into our database and capture that signature.
Interesting.
In Missoula County, we're the only county in Montana that has a flap that covers this signature. Essentially, that's your ID in a mail ballot election.
Right.
So we've got your signature from your voter registration, and we're going to check that to make sure that we feel confident that it was you signing that envelope.
Now, is this visually inspected by human eyes?
Every single ballot.
Oh,
So
come on.
we have teams in every day going through and comparing the signatures to what's on file.
Yeah.
And now, if you didn't sign it or the signature used didn't match,
Yeah.
we're going to reject your ballot, but it's not done. We're going to reach out to you.
Oh, no kidding.
We're going to
So
send
you
you a
really
letter.
do say, hey, we got this ballot.
Absolutely. We're going to say, Joel, it looks like we got your ballot. There was no signature on there, so we've rejected it.
Yeah.
We've sent you a form that you can fill out and include an ID that will remedy this situation and make sure your ballot gets counted.
Nice.
And if the signature doesn't match, we'll do the exact same thing. And it's such a great safeguard. That way, let's say your roommate opens your ballot,
Right.
votes it,
Somehow they've
signs it.
taken a bribe to vote for the other person, and they're determined to get that $5, so they're going to try to impersonate you.
We're going to reject it.
Yep.
And we're going to reach out and we're going to say the signature did not match. And you're going to say, well, by golly, I didn't get that. And we're
Yeah.
going to say, no problem. We don't count it if it doesn't match. We're going to void that ballot. We're going to make sure you get that opportunity to vote. So
yeah.
on the same line, we want to make sure that you've seen a ballot, and then that signature is critically important to making sure your ballot can be counted.
So don't forget, people, to please, please sign your ballot. And there's a date spot there. Once you've done that, well, I guess the first thing to do is fill out your ballot, but that's a very important piece about election integrity. They're looking at signatures, comparing signatures, and doing due diligence. Now, in my case, I'm in Ward 3, so I don't have a ward primary, so I have a very simple ballot for mayor, and there are 5 names on this ballot. I would choose one name, fill it in. Is it pen?
Yep.
Pencil doesn't count. Fill it in like the little eggs you may remember from school for the person of your choice. If you have trouble accessing information on who should I vote for, MCAT has a mayoral candidates forum held here at the library, some weeks ago now, but it's on our Facebook page, and you can see all 5 candidates respond to very thoughtful questions about what the mayor might do in the future. So let's say you're informed, you're confident, you choose one. You would then place your completed ballot in the blue envelope. With a hole, I guess, lets you know that there's actually a ballot in there.
Yeah, that's another safety feature that we use.
Yeah.
And what we do is after we've emptied your envelopes, checked your signature and accepted it, you notice there's a hole in the outside envelope and the secrecy envelope.
Yeah.
Anytime we empty an envelope, we put it on a spindle. And what that does is make sure that we didn't leave a ballot inside the envelope
sure.
we needed to count.
Yeah, because then it would give quite a resistance.
Exactly.
Doesn't cry out, but that technology is coming. Wait. So there's another element of what goes on in the election office behind the scenes. This is called your ballot secrecy envelope because there's no identity attached to this once it leaves the signature part, right?
Exactly. So on that envelope, you'll see a barcode.
Yeah, it's got my name and address on it in this instance.
Yeah, and what we'll do is we'll scan that barcode. And remember when we talked about scanning in all of your forms?
Yeah.
It brings those up. So that way we say, yes, we received it. Yes, we can see that. So this is critical, and it links your ballot to you so we can check the signature.
Right.
After that's been confirmed, we'll go through and we'll separate the secrecy envelope from the,
The contents,
signature.
the ballot itself.
Yep, and we'll still have the ballot in there until
Yeah.
Election Day.
Ah,
But what we've done is we've made sure that your ballot is secret.
right.
And so after
And valid ballot.
exactly,
Hard to
after
say.
we've checked to make sure you voted it,
Yeah,
then we'll separate it to have it be that secret ballot.
yeah.
And then we'll get it ready to count.
Gotchas. So that is computerized to a degree, right? I'll take that out again so folks at home can see it. That, you know, there's the egg, as you may have filled out a multiple choice questionnaire or a test or something. And then it has that kind of computer look with the dots.
Exactly.
And the weight of the paper looks like it could put up with a machine count without necessarily getting jammed and so on.
Exactly. There are really high tolerances that we use, special coding, testing
Yeah.
that goes into it. And then what we'll do is on Election Day, we'll prepare them all, and then we'll start tabulating on Election Day so
Yeah.
that we can get results out as close to 8 p.m. as we
Right?
can.
As you can, as the people are nail biting in various bars and they do. The Union Club often features the Democratic Party. So once you filled out your ballot, and this is for the primary, and we may come back and talk to you again for the general election prior to November. You put it in the envelope. You're sure to sign and date this envelope. You can seal the envelope. And it says business reply mail. Like some people have said, oh, they won't take it. You know, that they want to put a stamp on it because they feel like it's large and heavy.
So you said this perfectly earlier. We're not asking for any money for your vote.
Right.
We're trying to make this as easy as possible for
Right.
everybody involved in the election. So what you can do is you can vote your ballot as soon as you feel that you've made an informed choice.
Right.
Put it in the blue secrecy.
Yep.
Sign and date the envelope. Now you can drop it in any mailbox to get back
Yeah.
to us.
Any mailbox. You don't have to put extra postage on it.
Nope, it'll make sure that it all gets covered and comes back to us, no postage required.
Yeah.
USPS recommends 7 days ahead of the election.
Ah, that's September 5th.
Yes, so here's what we do. You can always drop your ballot off at the election center to make
Drive
sure.
up deal.
So you come inside.
Oh, you
With
do?
a mail ballot election, it has to be a manned place of deposit.
Interesting.
And one of the things I just remembered, our sixth location, it's the Missoula County Fairgrounds. It's our
See,
drive-through.
Of course it always was, you
Yep.
know, in the past.
And it's a kind of a new location. As
Okay.
everything has changed, it's on Russell Street between where the track is and the YMCA.
I gotcha.
And
I know where that is. Dear viewer, I don't know if you know where it is, but it's much more towards the YMCA, and it's not the South Avenue one that looks sort of like Welcome to the Ranch.
And
oh,
we
look, it's got that.
added a map on here. So all of the
That's
different
great.
locations are here, but it was a little confusing. We did our best to sign that.
Yeah.
And so you'll even see here that when it says the drive-through location, it's going to say between the Missoula County Fairgrounds and the YMCA.
Yeah.
We'd always listed it as the fairgrounds, which it technically is.
Right.
But we want to make this as easy on anybody to get it there as possible.
Yeah.
This one's drive up, drop your ballot off, and grab that I voted sticker. Make sure that your
you can
vote
get one.
counts and you
Oh,
can
that's
get your
nice.
sticker at any location.
And then I just want to underscore that there are full instructions that came with the ballot. So not only does it say where you can drop them off, it reiterates what I just said, you know, about filling the ballot out, putting it in the blue envelope, secrecy envelope, and putting it in the main envelope and signing it. There was something else I was going to ask, and I kind of forgot what it was. That's too bad. Oh, I know. So say someone has filled this all out, and they say, well, can I check and make sure my ballot was received? And you don't necessarily want to be flooded with phone calls.
This is a fantastic new improvement. We've been working closely with the Secretary of State's office for years. This year we have a new voter database.
Excellent.
And so every county in the state's using this new database. But one of the biggest benefits to this is myvoterpagemt.com.
Right.
That My Voter Page app through the Secretary of State now works for your local election.
Great.
So you can go to that My Voter Page MT.
You want to show that, Scott? Or you did, or whatever.
Holding it up there on the screen to help show, you'll put in your name and your
Yeah.
date of birth. Now, I do want to point out, in our database, it doesn't let you have multiple word last names. So if you have a last name,
Hyphenated or...
a hyphenated last name, any special characters or spaces are going to all get squished together. So if you have a hyphenated or multiple words in your last name,
Yeah.
plug them all in, squished together. There's a little note
no
in there.
space or whatever.
Yep, then you'll find yourself, and you can see What's the status of that ballot? Was it returned
Yeah.
to our office as undeliverable? Well,
Right.
we'll reach out to you and let you know that too.
Yeah.
Was it accepted? Did it get rejected because of a signature issue?
Yeah.
Or has it not been received? And if you mailed it in, especially close to that September 5th, I really encourage that voters check that.
Yeah.
We can always void that ballot and issue you a new ballot. We want to make sure your vote gets counted.
Right. So, if you want to know how this whole thing turned out as far as you getting your ballot in, you can go to myvoterpage.com.
myvoterpagemt.com.
Oh, mt.com, and then see what became of your ballot. Is there anything else we should add? We were going to talk a little, and if you have time, just briefly, some people have been asking why a primary. That's it.
Yep.
Like they'd say, well, what do they think we're too dumb, to have 5 names for mayor on November? Because this primary, remember, dear viewer, is going to limit the 5 candidates for mayor down to 2 candidates for mayor. And in the case of Ward 5, where there were 3 contenders for the 1 representative seat, it's going to narrow those 3 to 2. Do you want to address that just a teeny bit?
You bet. This
Okay.
gets deep into the weeds, but I think it's
Yeah.
important to know. So the county runs the city's elections.
Right.
There's no option for the city to do them on their own, so we help contract to run their elections for them.
Right.
As we go through this process, when we have candidates file, there's a really wonky matrix. Depending on the number of candidates, the number of open seats, will it trigger a primary?
According to state law.
According to
so the law's
state
there
law.
with the thumb, they're pulling that trigger.
Exactly. And in this case, the number of candidates for mayor triggered that primary election. Now, anytime that there aren't the number of candidates necessary, that governing body, the city, can say, no, I want to run that. So for example, we've got our Ward 5.
Right.
And what they said is, well, since it's triggered for the mayor, let's run it for Ward 5 too and narrow these candidates down so that we can select from a majority instead of a plurality.
Interesting.
With 5 candidates, your top vote getter could have 28% of the vote.
Right. Oh, I see what you mean now. That didn't come up in our pre-talk about primary. So the sense of it would be, well, that's not very democratic. You have 5 candidates. They're all polling at about 20%, except one's at 28. So they don't feel like, what do they call it, a mandate.
Yep.
They haven't much of a mandate with winning like that.
And we always talk about that. The more people who vote in an election and the more that somebody wins an election by, the more people who've participated specifically,
Yeah.
the more of that mandate there is from the public.
Right.
We talked about that when we had record-setting vote returns in 2020.
Pandemic and all. Right?
Yeah, with the pandemic, with the mail ballots, we had those record-setting vote returns, and that's exactly our goal in elections.
Yeah.
The more people who vote, the more that those results show that mandate from the people.
Yeah. And I mean, voting is a kind of way of saying yes to democracy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because a lot of people may have noticed that the process has been attacked, and that, everyone, when they think about politics, they think about voting, they come away with a kind of beaten, sore feeling. But actually, following candidates, finding people with whom you agree that you want to sort of march forward in a community with, it's supposedly a feel-good tradition in America. So.
Well, and your vote is amplified in these smaller elections.
True that.
45,000 ballots for the city election.
Yeah.
In Ward 5, a fifth of those ballots,
Right.
or a sixth of those ballots coming out.
Yeah.
Math on the spot, not my best suit right
I'm
here.
going to say 8,000 or so.
Yeah, I think it was about 74.
8,000.
Yeah, I ran those numbers just a little bit ago, but it's this aspect that insteed of one of millions of votes or an
Yeah.
electoral college vote for president,
Yeah, very distant and disconnected in a way.
excuse me. This is your local representatives, your
Yeah.
local group. And when we come to city council races, these are oftentimes decided by dozens of votes.
Yeah, dozens of votes. So
And
the vote
so-
can be very important.
It's really critical in these
Yeah.
local elections, and your vote has more amplitude in these local elections.
And many people will observe that the city of Missoula is not in a kind of ho-hum snoring position right now. Things have been changing and promise to change even more.
Yeah, exactly. I love
So-
this. Personally, I'm so excited that we have 5 people who want to lead
Yeah,
our
isn't
city
that
right now.
something?
It's something we should all be very
back in the
excited
day, you could
about.
barely get the dog catcher to run. No, I'm kidding. But, you know, it's true. The town has grown, and the stakes seem to have grown in what direction we'll take, how it will pull together, all kinds of to-doing.
Yeah, this
So-
is where we get to make those decisions as a community.
Yeah. Well, Bradley, thanks so much for taking the time to explain all this to folks. And I hope we've reached some hearts. If somebody says, you know, local election, I'm saving myself. So, dear viewer, don't. We've just been visiting with Bradley Seaman. He's the elections administrator for Missoula County, which is under contract to administer city elections. So that's where it's all going to happen from their headquarters out on Russell Street. So if you have any questions, you've seen a number of contact points on the screen. So you can contact the elections office. You can go online and see where your ballot is. If you don't see one, you can go online and see what became of your ballot. The dates are very important, so please get your ballot ready for the mayor primary and also Ward 5 if you're in Ward 5. So once again, thank you for watching. For MCAT, I'm Joel Baird. See you next time.